Hey there, OPTAVIA. Welcome to Let's Talk, our Monday night optimal health webinar and podcast. My name is Jan Paxman, and I'm coming in from American Fork, Utah. Love to see where you all are coming in from. I've been blessed to be part of this wonderful mission of OPTAVIA since January of 2010, almost 16 years. So love this mission, love this program. And I am honored tonight beyond belief to partner with one of my favorite people on the planet, Dan Bell. Welcome, Dan.
Hey, Jan, thank you. Great to be with you tonight and with everybody.
So happy to have you. And before I formally introduce him, I'd like to ask everyone to take just 1 second and share some way that OPTAVIA has blessed your life, either through a healthier body, healthier mind, or for those who have chosen to pay this amazing gift forward, healthier finances. So let's see what you guys have to say. Watch the chat fly. For those of you who are on podcast, sorry, you're not going to be able to see this, but wow, just love seeing all of these things go. I love it. So I just want to make the point that now that we see these incredible life-changing wins fly through the chat, they would not have been possible without Dan Bell. That's who we're going to hear from tonight. So Dan has been a veteran of the direct sales industry, having served as a field leader, trainer, speaker, consultant, compensation plan specialist, executive, co-founder, business owner. He's been in this industry for 50 years. And he's been with OPTAVIA since the beginning of, he was with us right when Take Shape for Life began. And that was the name of the company prior to when it was called OPTAVIA. And he was the very first executive vice president, and he is the chief architect of the company's business model, platform, compensation plan, policies, and foundational training. It's called the Business Blueprint. And I have a copy of it, and I've been around that long, so it's an honor. But after helping launch TSFL, Take Shape for Life, Dan actually left the corporate side, and he and his darling wife, Mary, became coaches. And together they worked hard and achieved the rank of integrated presidential directors, leading one of the largest teams in the company and impacting more than 2.5 million lives across the United States and Asia Pacific. And Dan, I'm just grateful to be one of those lives. So before I turn it over to you, I just want to make the point that, you know, we all love Dr. A and we love his system. We love what he built. He built the car. Dan Bell put the engine in it. So Dan, you know, and those pictures of you and Dr. A in the beginning, you two have been the dynamic duo for a long time putting this together. And what drew you to this business? What was it that brought you in?
Well, Jan, you know, for me, like you said, I've been in the business a long time. I've been in this industry for 50 years, and I was 10 when I started, just to let everybody know. But no, I was actually invited to an event. It was a predecessor company to Take Shape for Life called Health Inventions that Dr. A had started, and they had a vendor relationship with Medifast. And so a friend of mine invited me to take a look at it. And I went to this meeting in Parsippany, New Jersey. I tell you the day, it was June 28th, 2002. And I met Dr. A, and I met Brad McDonald, who was the CEO at the time of the company. Unfortunately, we lost Brad to cancer about 8 or 9 years later. But I saw three things there. First off, I heard Brad talk about the company. It was a company that had been around since the 1980s. They worked primarily with physicians. That was their distribution channel. They had over 15,000 physicians recommend this program based on science. And I was really blown away with just the credibility. They had clinical studies done at Hopkins and NIH, and I go, wow, this is amazing. And then I met all of these, what they called them health advisors back then instead of health coaches. And these people were all, they were all thin. And they started showing me these before and after pictures, and it absolutely blew me away. It wasn't some anecdotal thing about, some placebo effect, right? You could actually see the effect of what happened when people went on this program. And then, of course, I met Dr. A, and I heard about his background, 10th board certified critical care doctor, first in his class in med school, and that he left a, very prestigious position to go upstream to help people create health. And I said, this is an incredible story. I'd really like to be a part of it. And so that's how I was introduced. And I wanted to be a part of it because from that day, I saw the incredible potential. So I started out as a consultant with Medifast, and then they brought me on the inside. As you said, I was the executive VP, and I was there for a year on the inside. So that's when I created all that stuff. And we had a, I saw from the very beginning that this business had the potential to really impact a lot of people's lives. And so after we birthed it for that year, then I went into the field, and which has been just just kind of the pleasure of my life to have done this for the last 20 some years, working side by side with Dr. A and so many wonderful clients and coaches throughout the country.
Awesome. I love that, Dan. And funny side note story. I was in nursing school at 19 years old, and I did a process paper on a patient who had used Medifast to prepare for gastric bypass surgery. And it was you could only get it through physicians' offices at that time. But I think everybody realized that it could only go so far that way. And it really needed to get out to, like you said, to get it out to impact more lives. And so you saw that vision, and you've been acknowledged as the architect of the business model and compensation. So what was your vision for the business, and what were you trying to create with it?
Well, first off, I saw, like I said, an enormous need. I mean, I was paying attention. My background is actually pre-med, so I was, trained as a scientist. I actually went to the University of Pennsylvania veterinary school. I studied to be a vet. Oh. And so I was very aware of the health issues that were going on, and I could see all those trends. And I could see that, I bought into Dr. A's vision right away. I thought this is needed. And, so the basic thing, when we looked at this, we obviously this is something we wanted to create to serve people, because people really needed it. They needed solutions. And so the idea of the business model was to create something different, really, that had never been done before. And that's one of the things that's unique about us. It was sort of, we had this blue ocean strategy. We didn't want to be like everybody else, safe in the harbor. We wanted to be unique. We wanted to be transformational. So what I did is I borrowed components from various types of businesses when we put this together. And sometimes people like to put OPTAVIA in a box, when they hear direct sales, and they think it's like something else in direct sales. And I can tell you that from the creation of this is unlike anything else that's ever been created. And that's one of the reasons I think we've been successful.
That's why I joined, because it was so different. And because of the science behind it, I read through those studies that were done, and I was hooked. I felt like this was really something I could get behind as well. So we mentioned it above. We have kind of a phrase we coin here at OPTAVIA. We talked about healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finance. And I'll let you tell what that's called, and kind of, speak to that a little bit for us.
Yeah, we call that the trilogy of optimal health, because if you think about healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, people have to have those in synchrony if they want to have a successful life, right? I mean, you can be extremely wealthy. If you have bad health, it doesn't matter, right? Or you could, you could be somebody that's very healthy, but if financially, if you're struggling, from paycheck to paycheck, that's not real health either. So when you look at really what we wanted to create was optimal health and well-being for people. That was the design of this. And whether people wanted to participate as clients or as coaches, we were able to provide that. So for clients, when we talk about healthy body and healthy mind, those are things that people, and many of you are clients watching this tonight, have really benefited from that. A lot of, and obviously the coaches have, because when we look at the need out there, 73% of Americans are overweight or obese. Actually, 42% of them are obese. almost 20% of our kids are obese now. It's terrible. And 85% of Americans suffer from some type of metabolic dysfunction. So the need for what we can deliver to people is incredible. And then when you look at the mental side of things, it's interesting, especially post-COVID. I mean, COVID did a number on a lot of people, but we were heading that direction anyway. Whereas a lot of people have emotional mismanagement, lack of real human connection. Loneliness is a big deal right now. And one of the things that we provide is a community of like-minded, positive people that are in love with life, and also they really enjoy being around other people. So we provide that. And then, of course, for those people that elect to become coaches and drive this mission, because coaches are the people that reach out to our clients to help them create health. For those people, obviously, the need is enormous as well, because a lot of people haven't caught up they're still behind because of COVID. They're living paycheck to paycheck. We know interest rates are high. A lot of people struggle. And from a business vantage point, we can provide either a part-time opportunity for those people or a full-time opportunity, and really an incredible business if people see it that big.
Amazing. When I first started as a coach, we had a family need financially. And I thought if I could just earn $1,000 in 6 months, I would be elated. And that would take the pressure off. While my husband kind of regrouped. It was right during the time when the economy was kind of tanking. It was 2010. He was in insurance, and a lot of the businesses he insured were going under. And so our income was going down. And I thought if I could do that in 6 months, that would be a help. And I did it in 6 weeks. And I just was having fun. I was loving serving people with this. And it blew my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so our business is really client focused. What we talk about all the time is a win-win-win situation with this model. Help everybody understand that a little bit.
So the bottom line is nothing happens in our business unless somebody gets healthy. I mean, that is the bottom line. So when we talk about a win-win-win, the way we design the model is that first off, the client wins. The client comes to us and they have a need, either healthy body, healthy mind, one of those areas they want to work on, right? And so we provide them with programs, with training, with the community. We actually have what we call 4 components, and most people are familiar with that. You get a coach for free, by the way. You get a community, like with tonight. You get Dr. A's Habits of Health Transformational System, which is really the secret to, I mean, if people aren't using that, they're not taking full advantage of what's available to them to get off this, kind of treadmill of gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. In other words, he provides a complete system that has the keys for people long term. And then, of course, for those folks that are utilizing our program for healthy nutrition, we have the fuelings that OPTAVIA provides. So the client wins. In other words, the client comes in. Let's say they wanted to lose weight. The client comes in. They purchase it from OPTAVIA directly. They pay OPTAVIA. OPTAVIA ships the products to them, and they're not paying any more for their food than they would at the grocery store, right? So what they're doing is they're trading grocers for a while. So they're already spending that money, but what they're getting now is they get a coach. Now, they don't pay the coach. The company pays the coach to support them, okay? And then, of course, that coach has a business coach and a mentorship team that supports them. So which supports the entire structure of this business. So everybody wins when the client wins and the health is healthy. Driver, of course, are the fuelings, but that's the thing that sets it up for everybody to become successful. And that's one of the wonderful things about our business model, because it's not selling, it's at serving people, helping people create what they want in their life in terms of healthy body, healthy mind, and or healthy finances, if that's what they were looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. And Optavia is so incredibly generous in paying the coaches well for doing such a good job out there. It's fantastic. And I know when I first became a coach and I started earning, I had some challenges with being comfortable earning money. I could earn money as a nurse all day. I'm serving people. I felt fine about it. You know, I get paid and I thought that was just fine. But if I had my own business and I was earning money helping people, somehow that wasn't working in my brain. And I came to National Convention by myself. The first time I came was in 2011, and I sat in a class where you talked about the compensation plan. And I did not know who you were. And I just thought he's this nice guy up there telling me about this compensation and how it all worked. And afterwards, everyone kind of filtered out. I went up and talked to you. You probably don't remember, but you were so kind and generous with your time. And you just sat there and asked questions about me, asked, you know, what I was getting from the being at the convention, and you were awesome. And then we went back into the main area where we were having our next big general session, and you were on the stage speaking. I had no, you treated me as if I was someone very important, and yet you were one of the top leaders of the company. And as you were speaking up there, you were talking about this very subject, about how some people struggle with that idea of, is it okay to actually earn a good living through your having your own business? And you turned in my direction as if you were speaking directly to me. And this is one of those pivotal moments that happen in our lives that sometimes just change everything. And you said, we can do a whole lot more good in this world with money than we can without it. And that, it just went into my heart. And the reason why is because I always had a heart to serve, and I always wanted to share and give more if I had more. And when I heard that, it was like everything changed, and I was able to just move forward and create a business working with people that I loved, serving with people that I loved, to be able to impact more. And I just want to share that. That's one of the Danisms. We call them Danisms that I've loved over the years, that I've referred to many times. And I actually have a book that was created by one of our coaches, and it's a book about Dan. And it says all of these great quotes that Dan has done. So if any of you guys have Danisms that he's shared over the years, please throw them in the chat right now. But I've just got a couple I want to share really fast. Be a creator of circumstance, not a creature of it. Be a creator of circumstance, not a creature of your circumstance. I love that. Then the next one, if you do what you love, you will love what you become. I love that. And then this is, he's holding a fish. Where? Mine's right there. You can do a whole lot more good in this world with money than you can without it. And then I actually made, I got in this book, and he said on my page, success leaves clues, and that's for sure. And he's so successful, and he's left a legacy of clues behind him for the rest of us to learn from and follow. So I just want you to know, Dan, that you have impacted my life in a big way, And I know so many more people have as well. So in your opinion, why has OPTAVIA been so successful?
Well, Jan, first off, thank you for sharing that story. I mean, that was really, really nice of you to do that. And I want to say one thing about people that get hung up about money, because sometimes in our training is how we grew up in certain environments, and and I could go into a lot of detail on that, but sometimes people misquote scripture, and they'll say that money's the root of all evil. Well, it's not the quote; it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And like you said, it's just a medium of exchange. And the reality is, the more successful you become, you can't become successful in a vacuum. You can only become successful if you serve other people. And that's why this business has been so successful, right? Because it has this ripple effect. So you asked me, what is the major advantage of the model, right? Well, the major advantage of the model is that it has the power to change lives, right? So, I mean, if you think about it, we've impacted on the health side over I think it's like 3.1 or 3.2 million people. And just since 2017, we've paid to our coaches over 3 billion with a B in terms of commission. A lot of families like your family, when you first started, that had a need. And, so that's one of the neat things about this model is that people can do it part-time. They can serve a few people if they want to. They can create a nice home-based business if they want to, and maybe replace an income in their job and come home. Like sometimes women or men will come home from a job and be with their families. Or you can create an enterprise. I mean, you can really literally create almost like a micro franchise where you can create wealth and so on. So it can become generational wealth. My daughter and son-in-law just joined Mary and I in our business. So there's, we've been at this since the beginning, but it's a legacy. You're able to create equity in this business and leave a legacy. And so when you look about what it has done, it works because it works at every single level, from the client who comes in and wants to get healthy, to a coach who cares about that client, supports that client, to the company that pays the coach to support them. It works on all those levels, and that's one of the reasons why it's been a pleasure to work with. Plus, we get to work with really cool people like you.
Wow. Well, it's been a huge blessing in our family. It helped me to I actually was able to replace my nursing income. And then a few years later, my husband was still in the insurance business. He was able to retire early and help me with coaching. And we teamed up as well.
Yep.
It has blessed our family so much. And we're just forever grateful for what you've
And
done.
what's interesting also is that we have our coaches they come from all walks of life, right? And some people actually, we have a lot of healthcare professionals like you. We have entrepreneurs, but a lot of our coaches, probably the majority of coaches, weren't looking for a business. They were looking to get healthy, and they found a coach who cared about them, supported them, plugged them into our community, the 4 components, and they got healthy, and everybody noticed. And as a result of getting healthier, they decided to pay it forward. Okay, so I would say probably 65-70% of our coaches weren't looking for a business. They were looking to get healthy. And as it turned out, they availed themselves of the possibility, of maybe keeping their eyes open to maybe some other things in life. And there's an organic nature to the way this business grows.
So true. It does. People can't help but notice. They see a difference in those people. They see the energy. They see the vibrance come back into their lives, and they want some of that.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to see that happening and to be able to be a part of that. I love it. So what would you say is one of the main advantages of coaching if someone were to pay this forward?
Well, for one thing, on the health side, if there's a lot of clients on this call tonight or on the Zoom or listen to the podcast. So you're involved in this incredible organization of people that are focused on getting healthy. Well, when you decide to coach, it continues to reinforce your decision to stay healthy, because now and you're also learning more, because you're now shepherding and supporting other people who are on a similar journey with you. So so that's an advantage. Also, you get to pay it forward, and we do pay people well financially, but you get what I call the currency of goodwill. I got a text from one of our coaches, and she was talking about one of the clients that she's been working with for well over a year. The client was over 300 pounds. She's lost 187 pounds. And I can guarantee you that the coach that I work with, who's supporting that client, never once thought about what the money that she's making, that the company pays her. She's got her heart and reaching out to that woman whose life was a mess. She couldn't even get out of bed. And think about when we talk about transformation. So there's something about advantages of coaching. Yeah, we'll pay you well if you do one of the things that I designed the comp plan, and we pay people who do the work. So if you ever felt like you're not being paid what you're worth, well, here you get a chance to you're the boss, right? We do pay you well, but so it can be lucrative. It can create financial freedom for people, or time, like in your case with you and Dan, those kind of opportunities. But bottom line is, like we said, nobody makes a dime unless somebody gets healthy in this program. And that's what makes it so unique and wonderful and transformational.
Yeah, it does. It's fantastic. Well, I know since you have been such an integral part of this process that it means something so much to you personally. Share a little bit about that as we close up, and then also, what do you see in the future?
Okay, well, it's kind of interesting. I don't know what it was, but I've always had this desire to want to make a difference in life. I wanted to kind of leave my mark on the world. I didn't know exactly how that was going to be. But there's very few opportunities that people have in life to do that, and it's not that people necessarily set out to do that. It's just that they may not have the vehicle to do that. OPTAVIA has provided that for me in ways that I never even imagined. I mean, when we fundamentally, when it's all said and done, it's the experiences and it's the relationships that you have in life that are most important. And we've been fortunate financially. We've traveled the world. We live, a really very nice lifestyle, but that's not what it's all about. Money is just a reflection of your positive involvement in the lives of other people. And, the thing about OPTAVIA is it gives you a vehicle to make a difference in somebody's life. And then you can also, because it's predicated on a concept of duplication, you can multiply yourself. It's like dropping a pebble in water and seeing this ripple effect go over, out, out, out. And, you'll find friends that you don't even know today, that will be best friends of yours in a year or two, or people from different parts of the country. You go, how did that happen? Jan, you and I would have never met if it hadn't been for OPTAVIA. Think about
I
that.
know, I know. And that was,
Dan, we're losing you. If you want to turn your webcam slightly, you've been
No, you know
slowly
what it is?
fading away. It's been
You know
amazing.
what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? It's I'm in my Colorado home, and the sun is sunsetting, and it's sometimes the window. I wasn't even looking at it, so I was just thinking about what I was saying. But thank you for reminding me of that.
yeah, I love it.
Um,
Alex, she piped
yeah,
up and said, Dad, turn your webcam. We can't see you.
yeah. Well, you asked me about the future. So where do I see the future is? Well, first off, the need isn't bigger than it ever was. I mean, as much success as we've had, um, the need is bigger. And OPTAVIA is evolving and changing. And one of the things, all of the trends are moving in our direction. And there's some major breakthroughs that are happening in OPTAVIA. So where do I see us going? I am more optimistic about our future now than I was when I started 20 some years ago. When I met Dr. A. When I met Dr. A and Brad, I said to myself, this is $1 billion company. And I was right. And I'm looking to the future here, and I see, not only success in the United States, but I see us going internationally. And so to me, it's all green lights going forward. I'm pretty ebullient about where we're headed, if you might be honest with you. And a lot of stuff that I'm privy to that people have not yet heard. It's pretty darn exciting. So this is a good time for it to be us. It's a good time to really get out and support people who really need our help.
Oh, I love that. Well, you are such a light out there, and you're so humble. I don't know if anybody saw the picture that Chris, our wizard behind the scenes, put together of Superman. We call him Super Dan because you are that. You are just someone that we can trust, someone that's been there every step of the way, and somebody that has impacted so many lives. And there he is. Super, Dan. I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity to be with you tonight, Dan. Thank you again so very much for joining us.
And
Loved
thank
it.
you, thank you, thank you, Jan. You're a wonderful host and a great friend. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Let's be sure, if you haven't already, let's subscribe to our wonderful podcast channel, Optimal Health Community. Get in there and subscribe so that you can never miss an episode that we have here with you. And also next week, holy smokes, it's going to be so incredible. We're going to be diving deep into the OPTAVIA app and the amazing ways that we can track our progress and keep moving forward. It's going to be awesome. So don't miss. Let's talk next week. And thank you all again for joining us tonight, Dan especially. And good night, everybody.
Good night.